Hi, I'm Shandi, and I believe it is never the spirit of a little girl.
Hi, I'm Kylee, and the night shift is no joke.
Hi, I'm Craig, and this is why I never answer the phone. And this is Séance with my siblings, Ghost Stories edition. Woo! Woo! Welcome to the Séance. Alright guys, so I have a few stories here for y'all. So the first one is by Dark Angel X91.
Okay.
Yes. So it starts with, this happened to me back in January 2015. I stayed over at my best friend's house the night before and I needed a lift to my parents' house. As I was supposed to be having dinner there, I decided I would text my mom and ask if she would pick me up. She agreed and would ring me when she was outside. I got changed and went down to my friend who was in the kitchen. We chatted for a few minutes and I decided I would grab my things as I knew my mom would be picking me up. It was just after finishing tidying up the room when my phone began to ring. It was my mom. So I answered it, but there was no one on the other end. I said, "Hello?" And that's when a voice started speaking, but it was very static. It seemed like it was a bad reception. I couldn't make out what she was saying, so I just told her I'd be out in a minute, and hung up. I said goodbye to my friend and went outside to my mom. When I got in the car, I started telling her that I couldn't understand the words she was saying on the phone. She was just looking at me like I had two heads. She said, explaining to me that she tried to ring me, but the phone call got cut off. She told me that she wasn't speaking to me on the phone. I thought she was messing with me at first, but then I could tell she was being serious. She told me to check her call logs on her phone just to prove that she wasn't talking to me, and sure enough, the call never went through. I couldn't believe it. I was in total shock. So if I wasn't talking to my mom, who was I talking to?
Ooh.
I read quite a few stories like this researching for this, like weird phone shenanigans on both like old school landlines and on cell phones. And it's shit that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, is this glitch in the Matrix or is this entities that can control things?
Mimicky.
Or like getting calls from your dead dad on like a certain day at a certain time that was meaningful.
Yeah.
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 I've heard stories where like there will be a phone call and they'll have like a full-on conversation, but then they later find out that that person was like in a train accident at that time or something, and it just is so wild.
No,
but also like a comfort.
Yeah, I love that people can come say goodbye. Oh, I hate that too. So sad. Okay,
so sad.
That was a good one. That was weird.
The scariest phone story is like the Gary Sudbrink.
Oh, Gary Sudbrink.
Have you heard?
Horrific
We'll have to
story.
talk about that one.
Yes.
Okay. We'll do weird phone shit.
Yes.
That's not sexy.
Not
weird phone shit.
Spooky phone shit.
Spooky phone shit. The worst kind.
We're all a little bit sick.
Yeah, sorry.
Just doing it, yeah.
I have been sick since before Halloween. Like, this is the best I've felt since before Halloween, and I've got, like, this phlegmy cough that won't quite go away, so I apologize.
Yeah, there's something going around.
It's gnarly.
'Tis the season, I guess.
Yeah.
And this next story is also by Dark Angel X91.
Ooh, a fellow haunted person.
Yes.
Dark Angel X91.
And that wasn't even like the same category. And I just like clicked on the story and I was like, oh, okay. So starts with, this happened to me back in 2013, so a little bit before the phone. I had just come home from work and the atmosphere in the house felt different. Oh my gosh. Different than earlier that day. When I was starting to make dinner, I felt very uncomfortable in the kitchen, but I pressed on and I got it done. Then for a while, after the atmosphere seemed to change again, back to how it was earlier that day, I watched TV for a while before heading to bed, and I felt as though I was being watched. I started to feel uncomfortable again. About an hour later, I decided to go to bed. When I was walking to my bedroom, I thought I'd seen a shadow. It felt like I was being watched again. I was laying in bed, trying to fall asleep. It felt like I wasn't alone in my room, and yet again, it felt as though something was watching me. It took me ages to fall asleep that night. I remember having a very vivid dream before I woke up of a black smoky figure hovering above me. It grabbed my shoulders and pushed me into the mattress. I started to fight it off, and I grabbed my necklace off the bedside table and hit the smoky figure. After I did that, the smoky figure disappeared. I woke up with the necklace in my hand, just like my dream.
Okay, they were dreaming. I thought this was happening
Same.
in like IRLs.
No.
Same,
It was a
same.
They're
dream.
dreaming.
They were
Okay.
dreamings.
Yes.
Dreaming of smoky shadow people.
But they woke up with their necklace.
But they
in
did
their-
wake up with their necklace in their hand.
So maybe it was a not dream.
Maybe
Ooh.
it
It was
was
an
in
astral-
between. Yes.
I think a lot of us go to the astral plane while we're asleep and we don't realize it. We think
Oh,
we're
yeah.
just dreaming.
Yeah.
That's such like a wild thought because like literally probably.
I always wonder if it's the ones like dreams have feelings sometimes.
Definitely.
And I feel like it's the ones where there's like that feeling, but it's also in a place that looks like familiar, but not
Mhm.
quite.
Well, there's certain houses that I dream of all the time that are not houses that I've ever lived in. They're just like a dream house, but it's
Yeah.
like one that I'm there all the time. And it's only slightly different each dream.
Mm.
Dreams are so
Those are the,
wild.
like when they're just reoccurring or continuations is weird.
Can you guys read in your dreams?
Yes.
I can.
I don't think I have.
Allegedly, you're not supposed to be able to read in your dreams, and sometimes I can't. And I always wonder, the dreams that I can read, is that I'm actually in the astral plane? I'm not
Mm.
in my...
Maybe.
I'm somewhere
Yes.
else.
Maybe.
That's my theory.
Or like the clock will be like all sorts of messed up if you look at a clock, and if you can read it, then it's like not a dream also.
Mhm.
When I was younger, I was like, I'm going to learn how to lucid dream. And so I did all sorts of research. And that was obviously the thing, like, look at the clock or try to read. But I can always, like, the clocks are always normal and the books are always normal. And
Yeah.
so I could never tell.
Oh, well, you've always just been on the astral plane.
Just
I guess
always
so.
astrally projecting.
You're like, why do I never feel completely rested after sleep?
You've been flying around.
Sorry, Craig.
No, it's okay.
Oh, sorry. Craig. Talking about that story again, I wonder if that was like them on the astral plane and something was attacking them. Because that feels like it's not like
Yeah.
a human spirit. It feels like something different.
Especially because it was like oppressing the whole house. And then it
And
like
following her around before
Yeah,
bed.
exactly.
I'm assuming it's a her, but I don't
I don't
actually
think
know,
it ever
so sorry.
clarifies. So
If you're not a her, I am very sorry. I didn't mean to misgender you.
yes.
Anyway,
Anyways,
freaky.
but it does go on to state that they think they go on to say, I realized that it wasn't a dream at all, and I didn't go back to sleep after that. And that was after like they freaked out and quickly jumped out of bed.
Okay.
A few weeks later, I was sick with the flu, so I couldn't go to work and I was stuck at home. Luckily, I was nearly 100% better. I decided to have a nap as I wasn't sleeping very well at night because of my flu. I got into bed and eventually fell asleep. That's when I started to have a vivid dream of the same smoky figure again. This time I asked it what it wanted from me, and it said something but I couldn't remember. I told it I wasn't afraid of it and it laughed at me. I got angry and told it to leave and never came back. When I said that to it, it got really angry and flew towards me. I could feel its hand go through my skin into my body and it squeezed my kidney. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's rude.
disgusting.
Why
I
the kidney?
I don't
It's
know.
like, why do people kidney punch people?
Falcon
It fucking hurts. That's why.
punch. Oh no. I was screaming in pain. It hurt so bad that I woke up.
I bet.
Yes. I looked to my left, and there standing beside my bed was the smoky figure. It looked at me and went through the wall. For a few hours, I was still in pain, and then it eventually went away. A few days later, I was over my flu, but that's when I developed another problem. I developed a kidney infection. Yeah, that, like, when there's that correlation of, like, something happening that's supernatural, and then you, like, it's like almost like a warning, or like oh, this is going to be a problem.
Or
a ghost shadow grabs the kidney. Yeah. Or that too. I developed a kidney infection and went to the doctor. The doctor checked me out and gave me some medicine to help clear it up. The medicine worked, but shortly after that, I developed kidney stones.
ooh, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Drink a lot of water.
Literally.
If you're listening to this right now, go get a drink.
Drink some water.
Everybody hydrate.
Before you get kidney stones.
I've heard those are super painful.
Ooh, I can't even imagine.
Oh,
They have grown ass men on the floor.
that's not okay. I'm not that impressed.
My jaw stayed in place.
So when I used to do body piercing, grown-ass men would they were the biggest babies getting their tattoos. And not all the time, but they were, of all the people I saw being babies getting tattooed, they were the biggest freaks.
Yeah.
And they were always the ones that would pass out during a nipple piercing.
Oh.
Women were just like, yeah, whatever. And poor men, they
That's
did
wild.
not tolerate it as well.
I've actually heard that from other people too. So
Mhm. So sorry, guys, you don't have painful periods every month to help you get ready to be in pain all the time.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been in labor for 36 hours, a tattoo is nothing.
oof, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
36 hours.
Yeah. To be fair, at first I was like, oh, what is this? Huh. Well, they said labor would hurt more than I could ever imagine, so it must not be labor.
Oh God.
It was labor.
It was
Oof.
labor.
That's wild and
Oh gosh. Anyways,
spooky scary.
Yeah. Sorry about your kidneys.
Yeah, sorry about your kidneys. It was actually the same kidney that developed
The
the kidney stones as the
Makes sense.
ghost
Yeah.
shadow grabbed. Goes on to say, I'm pretty sure that smoky figure made me sick.
Dick.
Yeah.
Smoky dick figures.
Smoky dick figures.
Smoky dick.
Oh Lord. Ghost smoky dick.
I just imagine a
Just a dick.
no, like a ghost with a cowboy hat, tipping it. Man,
I'm smoking.
smoking
A
it.
smoky dick. That's so funny. Oh, dead.
It's all just a ghost dick.
Like a smoke,
Smoky ghost.
Yeah, I'm thinking big mouth,
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Like the little
yeah,
babies. They're
yeah,
so cute.
but like smoky and ghosty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoky ghost dicks.
Yep. All right.
Why am I like this? It's too early.
I've been up since 7.
I've been sleeping in so much since I've been sick. I never sleep in, so it's actually been kind of nice.
Hell yeah. And I have Uno Mas story by E-Ghost.
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 Okay.
For probably about a year now, I have been encountering a shadow cat in my home. Learn that name tonight. It may not be the correct term. Most of the time, it seems like a random trick of the eye or a convenient shadow. Other times, it just feels too real. Also, my mother has seen it once or twice. It's a medium cat-sized dark apparition that is usually running around or walking by. I have never actually seen its features, but it acts like a cat most of the time, meaning full-time, or most of the more meaningful times is when I will be walking down one of the hallways in my home, and this small shadow cat will zoom down the hall towards me, and I have to catch myself so that I don't trip or step on it. Sounds like a cat.
That's definitely a
With
cat.
the zoomies.
Oh, Marilyn.
Oh, precious baby.
She is.
So cute. It even happened last night. I opened the door to my bedroom, and when it was barely open, the shadow cat ran out, and I had to catch myself on the door frame so that I wouldn't step on it.
That's definitely a cat.
Literally.
Yep.
I honestly thought I had accidentally closed one of my cats in my bedroom. I do have 2 cats and a dog in my house. I am used to cats running around and getting in my way at times. But when there isn't a physical cat there, it's confusing.
Yes.
Well, yes. Yeah. Ghost cats be
Can
ghost cat.
confirm.
Hell yeah. I have had lots of pets throughout my life, and I've had many that didn't make it. That's so sad. Poor babies. Yeah. They can't live forever.
They don't live as long as humans.
Yeah. But never in this house. I'm wondering if it's bad to see such things or if it means something significant. If it is a spirit and we're going and we aren't going crazy, I also want to know that I don't have to remove it from my home. It seems friendly aside from always almost tripping me. Thank you for reading my silly experience. Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds just like a cat.
Just like a baby.
It's just hanging out. I wouldn't worry about it unless something happens or the vibes change.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I have ghost cats in my house, and it's just my cat Earl coming back to say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a misconception that, like, if you have a ghost, oh no, you
It's
have to
bad.
get rid of it immediately.
Yeah.
Some you can't, depending on what it is. Like, if it's just a human, like, they'll decide.
Mhm.
Like, the lady in my house, she wants to stay there. She could leave at any time, but she doesn't want to, and we just coexist, and it's fine. So, yeah, I don't think your ghost cat is a problem unless it starts feeling negative.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that would be weird.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be concerning.
That would be concerning.
If it were like a trickster at first pretending to be a cat
Mhm.
and then even turned beyond a trickster though, because
Mhm.
tricksters aren't necessarily the worst at
No.
times.
No,
So
it can be inconvenient.
yeah.
But it's usually general silly mischief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like mischievous sins.
Mischief.
Mischief.
Yeah.
No, I'm evil kitty.
No, I'm evil kitty. Have you seen those TikToks? I'll have to
No,
show
it's
you.
like,
They're so silly.
I was rubbing on Kitty. Kitty turned to me. No,
I'm
I'm
evil
evil
And
kitty.
kitty.
it bites your hand.
Yep.
Marilyn.
Oh.
She's the bitiest cat. And I'm like, guys, stop petting her right there. She hates it. She's going to bite you. No, she won't.
They don't
Alas.
listen. She's evil kitty.
She's evil kitty. All right, those are all the ghost stories I got for y'all.
Those were
Yes.
good.
Craig, good job.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I've got some spooky nursing related ghost stories for
Those
you
are
guys
the worst all the
today.
time.
I love them.
Yes. Okay. So this story is from Mopsy on allnurses.com. This story takes place in an inner city nursing home on the 3rd floor. The hall is to the left of the nurses' station, very nondescript with rooms on each side, just a dull rectangle shape. The only access to this area is the elevator, which is across from the nurses' station, and a stairwell on the side of that, more towards the other unit. The shift is 3 to 11, and it's about 7 p.m. Most of the staff is off the floor for dinner. I'm getting ready to begin my evening med pass with all the crushes for the tube feeds. And if you have ever done that, it takes a hot
Forever
minute.
to get meds ready for a whole unit of people.
Yes. Well, and to crush them all.
Yes.
And for tube
Did you guys
feeds.
have the pill crusher thing, though?
Mhm. Yes.
And you have the little cup. And you do.
Yep. Yep. I have a male orderly on the floor with me. This unit has several loud patients, with one in particular, a female who says a name of someone repetitively, all the time. I think the name was Mary. So along with other assorted dementia sounds,
I was going to say, is this like a dementia unit?
there is the constant background noise of Mary, Mary, Mary,
Ooh.
Mary being chanted. The orderly is facing towards the end of the hall next to me and my med cart. I am about halfway down the hall. The patient who keeps chanting Mary in the second to the last room on the left. He is asking me a question when there is a sudden silence. The chanting woman has stopped.
That's not good.
The silence makes us both look down the hall towards the woman's room. We both see a little girl literally
fuck
skip
that.
out of her room and enter the last room on the right, which I know is
Mm-mm.
empty. We both know there are no visitors on the floor, but still don't want an unescorted child running around.
Well,
Yeah.
because how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah. Plus, we have noticed she was dressed kind of odd. I lock the car and go down the hall, and we go down the hall together. No one is in any of the rooms except the bedridden patients that were supposed to be there. We then check on the quiet chanter, who was not dead, just inexplicably quiet. The little girl was dressed in a sailor-like outfit, a popular style at the turn of the last century. A midi blouse with a large collar and necktie and having a long waist. It was over a dark pleated skirt and dark stockings. Her hair was blonde and pulled back into 2 braids that bounced as she skipped. She never turned towards us, just skipped purposefully into the empty room. The patient stayed quiet for only a few days, then resumed her endless calling to someone who wanted to see, and Mary, Mary, Mary filled the dismal halls again. But no reappearance of the little girl from the past who seemed to have given her some comfort, if only for a short time.
That's interesting.
Did Mary come back to visit and appeared as her young self? Maybe she died young, and so she came back as how that person would recognize her?
Maybe.
Or it's something else completely.
Maybe.
Pretending to be a little girl.
Skipping
Like
down the
they do.
hallway.
Yep.
Like they do.
Like they do.
The outfit,
It's
though.
their favorite thing.
Yeah, it is their favorite thing. The outfit, though, is an odd detail because a lot of times it's like a pale, sickly Victorian child.
Yeah.
Or like a girl in a nightgown.
Mhm.
That's a very common little girl monster trope.
Yes. The little girl in the white
So this,
nightgown.
I'm like, is it family that just came to visit and just to comfort her?
Maybe.
And what is this onlynurses.com?
All nurses.
All nurses.
It's like a nursing.
I have questions.
It's a nursing forum, and the thread was specifically, give me your scariest nursing ghost stories. Yeah. And dude, it's like 27 pages long
Oh.
of people's like nursing ghost stories.
Well, there's a lot of them.
Hospitals
lot
are
of 'em.
haunted.
And rest homes are
Rest homes
haunted.
are
as
haunted.
fuck.
Where there's so many people and all that energy.
Right. Well, it's such people are in so many transitional moments of
Mhm.
leaving.
Yes.
Of leaving their meat suit.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that story. It's so good.
It was good.
Oh, yeah.
That would be spooky though.
That would be so scary.
I have seen some things
Yeah.
at the nursing
Oh, yeah.
homes. So
I have also.
yes. Very spooky. Okay, I have another story.
Yay!
This story is from Believer 1990 from yourghoststories.com. They say, this is the first time writing on here. This has to do with me working the night shift at a nursing home. There are a few stories that I have that I still cannot explain. There are 3 floors in the assisted living area of the nursing home. PC, personal care, where all of the patients needed full care, being helped with bathing and dressing, and then there was an assisted living area where only a few residents would need help. The first story I'm going to share was when I was working in the PC unit. I was folding the clothes to put them away when I heard a distinct call for help. It sounded exactly like one of my patients that needed full care. I heard her screaming help. I walked down to her room and she was fast asleep, snoring away, so I brushed it off. A few minutes later, I was folding clothes again, and I heard the same exact scream for help. I went to investigate, but once again, the resident was sleeping. I once again brushed it off as if I was hearing things. Once again, I started to fold clothes, and I heard it as if it were right next to my ear. I ran out of there and would not go back unless I had a coworker with me. I still to this day do not know why she was calling for help, but she was asleep during this time. A few weeks later, she was admitted into long-term living due to falling out of her wheelchair, screaming for help for half an hour before someone heard her.
Ugh.
I have also seen shadows walking the halls in the unit as well, and hear walkers going up and down the halls. Now that one got me like,
I love it. It's so creepy.
if you've ever heard like a walker, it's a
It's a
very
very-
distinct like, I can't make a walker
Yeah.
sound with my mouth, but
No, because you're not made
I'm
of
not a
metal.
walker.
Yeah.
but it's, yeah. So just like hearing that,
I wonder if the walkers are a residual energy, though.
Probably.
Because, like, who wants to spend eternity using their walker in their assisted living?
No, that's probably definitely residual.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Still, like, odd for the livings to hear, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes residuals are almost like the worst.
Yeah.
Like the residuals in my basement. Like last night, Luke was at a friend's house and it's just me and Peter, and we're just talking in the kitchen. And all of a sudden, Peter is like, gets this weird look on his face, and he goes and looks down the stairs. There's no one there. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh, just hearing people going down the stairs that aren't there. And I'm like, normal.
Normal.
Tis
We'll
a
hear
thing.
doors shut in the basement, but like, there's no one down there.
Bum, bum.
Yippee.
And it's not animals, because they can't use doorknobs.
What?
I mean, some can, like the weird shapes, but these are like old-fashioned
Round.
from the 1930s round doorknobs, like original to the house. Anyway.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
residual hauntings.
Residual
Good times.
hauntings.
Good times. This is another story from that same person on the same unit. An older gentleman was always talking to himself in the room, stating he was talking to an old friend.
I'm sure he was.
Probably. When nobody would be in the room, he would have conversations with himself about the old milling factory he worked in his younger days. One night, he woke up in a panic, saying that there was a man in his room that kept waking him up. I told him that there was nobody there and that he needed to go back to bed. He was in a panic and would not return to his bedroom, so a coworker and I went to see what was going on. When we entered the room, the lights started to flicker. I then started to believe him and had to wake up his wife on a different floor to calm him down and go back to bed. This story happens on first floor. It is part of the assisted living. There was a gentleman who passed away a few weeks before I started working there. He would go out nightly between 12:30 and 1 a.m. to go for a cigarette. He would use the elevator to go down to the smoking area right outside of the lower level. Now, a little backstory to the elevator. It dings every time you press a button. Like when you are going, or when you are opening a door, or when you open it, it makes a dinging sound. Every time. Well, after he passed, we used to see his call bell go off and light up almost nightly.
I hate that. That's happened.
That's happened here too. It's so spooky.
When I was young and not as jaded as I am.
That night, after another resident was living in the room, but every single night between 12:30 and 1 a.m., we would see the elevator doors open and close without making a sound. It would just open and close. Exactly 15 minutes later, it would come back up to the first floor and open and shut again without making a single sound. We all would just tell Larry to enjoy his smoke, and when he returned, we would welcome him back. I no longer work there, but friends of mine that do work there still tell me about Larry going for his nightly smoke and the shadows that roam the hallways and the lights flickering. I know this is a long story, and I appreciate you taking the time to read this. I just wanted to share a few experiences that I've had and see if anyone else can explain why I was hearing a plea for help and why Larry is still going for his nightly smokes.
Because Larry might be a residual haunting.
Larry might be a residual.
Or he just really liked it there and he really needs a smoke.
Yeah.
But I think they have a mimic. The calling for help,
Yeah.
especially using a specific
specific
resident's voice that was
Mhm.
obviously someone she would recognize as being that person and not confusing it for anyone else.
Yeah.
Because some people do sound similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and I sound similar.
We do sound similar.
It's like we're sisters.
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
So yeah, I think they had a mimic that was just fucking around with her for funsies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then that sucks that the resident called for help for 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's bonkers.
That is bananas.
That's
Like that would have never.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
that's
Well, and why aren't you doing your rounds? Like you're supposed to be going and checking on people.
yeah. 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. That's
That's a long,
That's a long time.
for someone to be calling for help.
Mhm.
maybe
The
2
mimic could have been.
if time is not actually real, because time
Right.
probably isn't actually real.
It's a construct made by humans, it turns out.
It was the future leaking into the past.
Maybe. And so that's why no one could hear her.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who
I
knows?
think it sounds like a mimic.
It does sound like a mimic.
But then it might be a glitch in the matrix too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, I loved her story.
Yeah,
Their
those
story.
were
so good.
good.
I'm assuming everyone's a woman. I'm an asshole.
Believer 1990. Okay. This story is from Copper Horse Tea on allnurses.com. So, when I was an LPN and supervising a nursing home on the 3 to 11 shift, early 1980s, late at night, the first time I saw it, I was sitting at the nurse's station, which could view down 3 long halls. I happened to look up and down one of the halls and saw this tall figure dressed in a long, black, flowing, hooded robe.
Great.
No sound from the tiled floor. It appeared and just seemed to glide
Yeah,
down
because
the
it was
hall.
floating.
It was, yeah.
Of course there was
It
no
was
sound on the tile.
levitating.
And entered the room of a hospice patient.
Okay.
I turned to one of the nursing assistants who had worked there for many years. Bobby just looked at me and said, "Yes, I saw it." That was very unnerving. I asked her, "What was that?" She replied, "That was death. We better go down there and check on the resident." Trembling and heart pounding, Bobby and I walked down the hall into the resident's room. The resident indeed had just passed.
Oh, wow.
There was a distinct odor in the room. Difficult to describe, but throughout my 34 years of nursing, I have smelled it several times before, during, and after a resident or patient has expired.
That's
The
so
odor
interesting.
of death.
Reapers have a smell.
Reapers have a smell.
Huh. Who knew? I didn't know that.
I didn't know
Learn
that
something
either.
every day.
Yeah.
Musky.
Oh, God. Sorry. The cough. After that incident, I saw the figure 3 more times and always just prior to a death. I've worked nights in facilities where the locked front doors would open with the alarm sounding and doors close on their own, also associated with an event of death. Since
That's interesting.
That is.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Since I received my RN BSN, I have experienced patients' words, fear explanations of what they have witnessed prior to their deaths. Seeing and speaking to loved ones passed on before them, those who have described angels who have come to guide them from this earthly world. Now a nursing instructor, I teach clinical on a step-down ICU unit where we have patients who are prescribed comfort cares and those whose code status to DNR, which is do not resuscitate, or referred to hospice. The night and day nurses often talk about 2 rooms on the unit where the call lights come on throughout their shifts.
2 haunted as fuck rooms on the unit. There's always at least one
There's
haunted room on the
Always
unit.
at least one. The engineers have checked the systems, the hardware, electrical, and found nothing wrong. It appears as these 2 rooms are where patients have commonly expired. Coincidence? Who knows? I only know that I don't ever want to be a patient in either of those rooms.
Well, we all die sometime. I mean, it's unavoidable.
Yes. And then I just have one more.
Nice.
Okay.
These are good.
They are
Can
good.
anyone go and read these? I need to go
Yeah,
and do a deep dive on
just-
allnurses.com.
Literally, it's open on the web. This nurse is from Dragon's Fancy on allnurses.com. I've worked in several nursing homes since 1997. That's the year I was born.
Oh my God, you're so young.
So bad. Plenty of run-ins with restless spirits.
Like, I was in high school in 1997.
Oof.
I was born in the late 1900s.
Same. I'm a 90s baby, barely.
Sorry, I am so sorry for my hacking.
We're sick. I'm sorry.
At this one nursing home, there were 3 different wings, north, east, and west. West wing was the heavy hall. Most tube feeders and total care.
Okay, I'm like heavy as in they put all the fat people there.
Oh,
That's just where my brain went, okay?
They weigh them before the
You're on the head.
It's terrible.
It's like something Grandma Draper would do.
Oh my God. Then there was the north. North was a pretty eclectic mix of patients of differing levels of acuity. There was a short hall and a long hall. However, to the back of the north wing, there was a long hall that had about 10 private rooms, a day room on one end and a small dining room on the other end. The residents back on this hall, called 400 Hall, were ambulatory and even a few wanderers.
That'd be me.
A wanderer?
Yeah.
'Cause
Just
I'm a
fucking around and
wanderer.
finding out. I
Now,
was just curious.
I gotta touch it.
Exactly.
Now, I generally worked from 3 to 11, but on this particular night, the 11 to 7 girl was sick, so I was asked to stay. As I was off the next night, I agreed. Since I was working a double, I was given the assignment of 400 Hall. It was an easy assignment as most of the residents were continent and the few that weren't were really lightweight. Anyhow.
That means they're easy to change their brief.
Yes.
Or take them to the toilet.
Yes.
Because they aren't heavy.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
This is awful. We are being awful. Okay.
But it was harder toilet heavier, like when you're a little teenage girl trying to take care of another big human that can't help you move them.
It is hard.
It is hard.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyhow, I was sitting in the dining room with the lights off, charting by the dimmed hall lights, when I caught something out of the corner of my eye moving down the hall. Thinking it was one of my wanderers, I looked up and saw what, to this day, I still believe was a toddler on a tricycle.
No way.
Let me tell you now, I lost it. The ADL book went flying, and I skittered up the short hallway to the nurse's station. I relayed my story to the charge nurse, and she just sort of chuckled at my expression and explained that one of the residents that had passed away years ago had a grandson that was killed by the back tires of her car. He was in the driveway, and she didn't see him and backed right over him. The night the lady died, she was calling out, "Tyler, oh my baby Tyler, Nana's coming."
Oh my
then
God.
she passed.
Oh.
I think we all live in fear of killing anyone with our car accidentally, but I can't even imagine killing your grandbaby.
That would...
I wouldn't be able to live after.
Nope.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, well, I'm going to crawl into a bottle and maybe a heroin. I'm just going to start using heroin and I'm going to peace out.
That's it. Everyone has come to the conclusion that the toddler on the tricycle still haunts the hall looking for his grandma. That's not a toddler.
No.
That baby is not there. That baby is in the great beyond or having another lifetime.
Whatever.
Little toddlers don't get stuck here.
Either way, I never worked another 11 to 7 on 400 Hall.
Yeah, because fuck that. Fuck that demon toddler.
Fuck that demon toddler.
I mean, don't literally try. I mean, I'm sorry. Okay, gosh.
Don't literally.
It's a demon, okay? It's not a toddler.
It's a demon.
You do you, boo.
But, it needs to look like itself.
Yeah.
Okay?
Don't be coming
Quit.
over here.
Yeah, being no spooky toddler on a tricycle.
Right?
It's giving Shining. The
Yeah.
Shining.
Yes. Come and play with us, Danny. Is it the Grady twins? Is that who they are in The Shining?
I don't remember their names.
There's some Monster High dolls of them, and I really want them, but they're $1,000 because they're old now, almost vintage.
Oh shit.
Anyway, cool. I loved those. Those were great. Thanks,
those were
Kylie.
great.
Nurses, you guys have the best stories. And CNAs. I was a CNA. I never got to be a nurse.
CNA is hard work.
It is. It's for young people with young, healthy backs and knees.
Which I never Rip. I'm all over there with my own
Oh,
God.
Poor Kylie. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So, this is from Deleted.
Nice.
This is from a thread on Reddit of tell me your scariest paranormal story.
Nice.
So, I liked this one. Okay. We got my grandma an alarm system after some criminal activity. Teenagers broke into her home, and before that, someone was living in her basement without her knowledge.
oh my gosh.
I hate that for her so
That
much.
Yeah,
is
that's
scary.
Yeah.
rough.
So this thing had a camera on the exterior doors and motion sensors to take pictures of whoever came into the house. So you were getting pictures of people and video, with the surveillance
I can see where this is going, and I'm so excited.
It's so good. So awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to cough.
Do you remember during COVID times, every time someone would cough, even with we were out, Lucas would be like, coronavirus! Like total strangers.
And just the shame you would feel if you had to cough in public.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm sorry, it's not COVID, I swear. I tested negative.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Good times. Sorry.
Yeah. So awesome. We were convinced she would be fine. I got a call from her when her phone went off at work. So grandma is like still a working human, like very able-bodied adult.
Okay.
Like she's not grandma who is elderly and retired. Well, I mean, all grandmas are older because they're grandmas.
Yeah.
Anyway, and she obviously has adult grandchildren, but like she's still working and she's not like having dementia. Okay, that's where I'm going. She doesn't have dementia. Like she's at work. Weird. I thought she lives alone. Okay. So sorry. I got a call from her when her phone went off while she was at work saying that motion was detected in the home, which should
like
not have happened. Inside the
Mm.
home, motion detected, right? So weird, I thought she lives alone. She assumes someone broke into her house. I'm concerned because the alarm system didn't go off.
Mhm.
So this person must have been in the house when she set the alarm. And this is scary because this poor lady has already had someone living in her basement.
Yeah.
So, like, this has already happened to her. So, of course, she's worried that it's happened again, right? And they're worried because the alarm didn't go off. So, no one walked in through any of the exterior doors.
Right.
Yeah. So, imagine her surprise when she sees her deceased brother-in-law
Oh, wow.
rooting around in the fridge. Because remember, the motion
What?
detectors take pictures.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And I had the picture all ready to go on my other computer that I spilled on.
Oh, no.
Rip.
But there's a picture, like they attached.
Oh,
the
they
picture.
attached it.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
I'll look it up after.
Dude, that's wild.
Anyway, but the picture is of a man in like a light pink shirt with some khakis, like he's a pretty snazzy dresser. But it's, you know, a tall man. He's as tall as like the fridge almost. He's tall and like broad shouldered.
Okay.
And yeah, it looks like he's wearing a hat. Like a fedora, but one of the straw fedoras, like that you would wear in the
Okay.
summer.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so not like made of felt hat, but made of
Straw.
yeah, like a fiber, a natural fiber that's woven. Anyway, that is what the picture was, and like literally the fridge is open.
Oh, my gosh.
That
That's
is
wild.
So wild.
Yeah, and it's obviously a very distinct human that they would know. You would recognize this man from behind because he's so big and broad.
Okay.
Like they know who it is. It's not like someone in a burglar outfit, you know?
Sim style.
Yeah.
It's like the striped white and black.
The walking.
But it's not someone like wearing a black hoodie that you can't tell who it is, right?
Right.
Okay. So the brother-in-law, who is deceased, is rooting around in the fridge, right? He hit a low spot after his daughter died and his wife left him, which is really sad because a lot of marriages don't survive the death of a child. So anyways, that's common. Anyway, one morning, he took a gun out to the lake and unalived himself. Apparently, he used to come over to my grandma's house every weekend and help her ex-husband with the basement remodel. He used to always dig in the fridge for snacks. So he's just like coming over to do like his thing. So yeah, it's a wild thing to see regardless of the answer, a ghost or an intruder who was hiding in the basement. But like obviously if they recognized him,
Yeah.
like this isn't some rando. Yeah.
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 That's wild.
That is
Yeah.
wild.
That they got a picture with you.
Yeah, that's
I know.
so
That's so
bonkers.
And it
Gross.
looks, he's solid. And I've seen full body apparitions that are solid.
Mhm.
Like I didn't know it was a ghost.
Oh, yeah.
And it took me years of like remembering back and thinking, oh shit, I have seen full bodied apparitions, but they were so real. I didn't even think of it as that.
That's, yeah.
Yeah,
Wild.
I know. Anyway, so this is my next story. Oh, sorry. Any other thoughts,
Oh,
feelings, concerns?
it's just.
That was very
there a
creepy.
picture, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is from J Sparks 597. About 10 years ago, in parentheses, it says, I have been 24. I was living with my parents. My bedroom was in the basement. One night, around 3 a.m., I was woken up to the sounds of a young child crying. I know. It sounded like it was coming from just outside my window. I couldn't just look out of the window because it was covered in ivy. Ivy. Oh, Shandi.
An
So-
ivory window. With
And poor elephants.
yeah. Poor elephants.
A faux ivory.
Faux
window.
ivory, yeah.
Anyway, it's
If it was
covered
old,
in
they
ivy.
used to
Yes.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, so
Ivy.
it was covered in ivy, so you couldn't see out of it. So I quickly hopped out of the bed to go help the kid, as you do, you know? As I got closer to my bedroom door, I could hear that the crying was actually on the other side of the door. I opened the door. No one was there. And the crying stopped.
Ooh.
Spooked, I immediately jumped back in bed and the crying started again.
Oh, my
Isn't
God.
that awful? So I don't know what they did. I don't know if they stayed in bed. They don't say. Later that day at dinner, I'm guessing the next day because they were sleeping, my family was sitting around the table and I brought up my experience I had. One of my sisters told a story about how when she was a kid, she'd always leave her room at night to go sleep with my parents because she'd see a little girl walking out of her closet. I hate that.
Hate that. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's just like a little kid, which is so scary for them. As she left her room and got into my parents' door waiting to be let in because the door was locked, she'd see the little girl walking up the stairs that were right there. After her telling this story, my youngest sister looked scared and asked, "The little girl, is she wearing a pink nightgown with shoulder-length brunette hair?" Now, my other sister was scared because that is exactly who she saw.
Ooh.
I know. My youngest sister told how she had similar experiences with that little girl coming out of the closet at night or walking up the stairs at night. Yeah. It's not a little girl, guys.
No.
Spooky. Why is it coming out of the closet?
Yeah.
Portal.
Portal.
Yep.
Portal to hell!
Yes.
You know, not. Maybe, though. But what I really want to know is, does that ghost want to throw down? Yes!
Yeah, it does.
Oh, God.
Oh, sorry. This is the last part. I'm convinced that something happened either in that house before we moved in or on that land that my parents' house was built on.
Mm.
I mean, I think it's just an entity
Doing its thing.
doing its thing, being a dick,
Mhm.
pretending to
Scaring
be a little
children.
girl. Yeah. Pretending to be a little girl. Okay. This is my last one. This is by Braston. And they had another one before this, but it wasn't scary enough. Like, let's just be honest. I mean, it was scary to them, but not to me. My family had what we believe was the ghost of a little girl living with us for several years in a house we rented in Tennessee. Never creepy, outside of just normal ghost girl unsettling. We would catch glimpses of her out of the corner of our eye. My wife and I would feel her climb up into bed with us to snuggle at night like little kids are wont to do.
Nope.
Yeah, it's not a little girl.
Nope.
Oh. One of us would be up late at night and see the kid's computer chair swivel to face the computer and the computer boot up and start loading the kid's play or educational sites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the neatest experiences was when we got our first cat. She was a neighborhood stray that we took in. The entire family was in the living room at the front of the house, just being chill and letting her explore her new environment. Her, the cat. Me.
Not the ghost.
Cat wanders down the hall to the back of the house, and we all hear, clear as day, a delighted little girl giggle and say, "Kitty,"
Oh.
from down the hall.
Uh-huh.
So with this one, I'm just like, is it just a normal human and ghost spirit, but they're appearing as their younger self?
Maybe.
And they just feel comfortable and they know that it would be more acceptable to the family for them to be there if they appear to be a little girl?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because
I can
this
see
doesn't
that.
seem malicious at all.
Mm-mm.
But not all non-human entities are
No,
malicious.
they're not. They're
Uh-uh.
not at all. So,
You never know.
yeah. Yeah, so I feel like this just wants attention and this is the best way to get it and not scare the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously it likes cats, so it must be fine.
It
Oh, yeah. Trust your
Unless
pets,
it's
guys.
Evil kitty.
Unless it's evil kitty.
I don't know. So anyway, those are the stories I found. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
They were spooky and
They were
good.
spooky.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I have never experienced is like what people think is a child haunting.
Yeah. Or it crawling in bed. That
Yeah,
just, like,
that
unsettles
was
me.
unsettling.
I had, when I lived in the house in, when I lived in the house in Springville, I think Zave used to come visit.
Oh.
Like we rented this little 2-bedroom house from my ex-in-laws, and it was before I got pregnant with Zave, so it was just me and Zan, and I would be there doing homework because I just started back to college, and I would hear a little kid running down the little hallway and like giggling, and I'd be like, Xander? And I would go check on him, and he'd still be sound asleep. But then when I found out I was pregnant with Zave, it stopped.
Ooh.
So I think he used to come visit.
That's so fun.
That is so fun.
So I guess there are little kid spirits, but they're not like trapped.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like interdimensional.
I
And
think sometimes your future kids come visit you.
Or maybe they're literally just like bopping around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe some people like to appear as their younger selves. Like
Yeah.
that was when they were happiest in life. So that's what they choose.
or maybe in
Yeah.
like some cases, after you die, you like start like fresh and like
Mhm.
grow, I guess.
Maybe,
like
or
in
maybe
a sense.
you died young and so you never
Yeah.
got the chance to be an adult.
Mhm.
Maybe.
But so you come back. Like the one kid in the story, the little girl, Mary, whatever the woman was
Yeah.
called.
Mary.
But anyway, with ghosts climbing in bed with you, like in that house, there was a male presence that would come and crawl into bed. Like I would feel someone, but it was comforting. He was there to comfort me. Like that was a really bad time in my marriage to my first husband. We didn't share a bed for 5 years. Like he would stay up all night playing video games.
Damn.
So he would go to bed just as I was getting up to take care of Xander. Anyway, so this presence would come and like it was comforting. He would come and like lay by me,
Aw,
and it was nice.
that is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't pervy, it wasn't sexual, it was just comfort
Comforting, yeah.
because he knew like how sad this time was.
Aw.
Yeah, so it's not always creepy when a ghost climbs in bed with you.
No.
I just feel like in that instance,
Yeah.
it's a little creepy.
Yeah, what would you do if you feel like a kid climbing into bed with you, Kylie?
Throat punch.
Thorough.
That ghost wants to throw down, obviously.
Don't be pretending to be a kid and climb in bed with
No.
me.
You're just like sit up, like straight up, like
No! No, I won't throat punch the ghost. I will just say, brother, get out of my bed.
yeah,
Because no.
scary.
Excuse me, sorry.
Well, now I know how to prank you when I die. Okay,
You'll get throat punched.
That's fine. I'd be
ghost.
incorporeal. It's fine. You're just
Pew.
just goes right through.
Boop.
No big deal.
Oh, God.
Well, we have socials.
We do have
We do.
socials. We have a TikTok
Come watch us ghost hunt on TikTok.
at Séance with my siblings.
We have an Instagram at Séance with my siblings.
We have a Gmail where you can send us your ghost stories and have them read live on the podcast.
Woo!
Seancewithmysiblings at gmail.com.
And we have a Facebook. And now we have a Lemonade.
Yes.
And we have a YouTube.
And
And a
we do
YouTube.
have a YouTube.
And it's all at Séance with my siblings.
Yes. Everything is Séance with my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So if when TikTok gets banned, follow us on Instagram and all these other
And YouTube.
YouTubes.
I don't know how I feel about Lemonade yet, guys.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I see that a lot of people are moving from TikTok to just YouTube or like
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Like posting
Lemonade
reels.
is powered by TikTok, so I don't know
Uh-huh.
if that won't be around, but it's like just kind of pictures. I don't know that I like the content as much.
Mm.
It gives
And the
like,
videos have to be really short.
It gives like Pinterest vibes almost.
Yeah.
But in a way that's not Pinterest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like Pinterest for young people, not mommies and grandmas.
I love Pinterest.
Well, you're secretly a grandma.
I am. It's not a secret, brother.
Kylie's an old soul, and she always has been.
It do be that way. Anywho's, we...
Thank you for
but
listening to our
thank you.
yapping.
Yapping.
It's been a minute since we've all been together and recorded.
Mhm.
So we get a little unhinged.
Yeah.
I feel like we
Always.
say that all the time now.
We're like, we're just so unhinged.
Just unhinged, period.
Yes. Yes.
We've all been sick. We've all been...
It's just past
Holidaying.
the holidays.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I just broke a laptop.
Oh.
My car got smashed into.
Ugh.
Only one more
Rip.
bad thing, though.
Only
then it'll
one
be
more?
over.
Only one more.
Only one more.
Only one more.
Only one more.
Yep. Wish me luck. I'll let you know.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Wave to the microphone.